This is Encinitas if you're looking for that suburban feel, golf course in the neighborhood. This is Encinitas if you're looking for kind of that new chic little hip neighborhood. And this is Encinitas if you're looking for brand new construction being built right now and super close to the beach. Same city, but completely different neighborhoods, and we're gonna get into them all right now.
Today we're covering 3 very different pockets of Encinitas. Encinitas Ranch, Fox Point Farms, and the Cove. And the cool thing is, yes, they're all different neighborhoods. They're right here in Encinitas, but it's even beyond that. It's not just about the homes, it's about the lifestyle that you're gonna get when you live in any of these spots. So we're gonna cover it all. So obviously we're gonna show you the homes. More importantly, we're gonna show you places like this, the beaches, the restaurants, what's around the neighborhood, and the lifestyle you'd actually live if you do end up moving to one of these spots in Encinitas. And the best part is, every single neighborhood we're showing today is just minutes from this beach. But later on, we're gonna show you an even better beach right up the road that is perfect for the whole family. So let's get into it.
Starting here today because when you think Encinitas, this is what you think. This is one of the most iconic beaches here in Encinitas. It is one of the few beaches that are bluff access. This one is special though because it has a switchback and not as many stairs as Grandview or Stone Step. So really cool beach here, and minutes away from everywhere we're going to show you today. Probably like 8 minutes, I think, tops, unless you have traffic, which there will be some traffic, especially sunset time during the summers, but you also have train track crossing. So there's times where it's gonna take you 15 minutes from some of these spots. So today we even had to park probably a quarter mile down that way, but that's pretty normal here. Small parking lot here at Beacons, but really, really easy access. But later we're gonna show you one that's way easier. This one's a little bit tough with the wagon, a little bit tough with a whole bunch of beach chairs, but we're gonna show you one that's really easy. Just walk straight onto the sand and enjoy the beach. And living in Encinitas isn't just about the house. It's really about how you're gonna spend your mornings, afternoons, and evenings. And a lot of your time's gonna be spent here, especially evenings. You're gonna see a ton of people lining up against this fence for sunsets and a lot of other cool things. You got Neptune Avenue right here, which is one of the most iconic streets in Encinitas, bluff front homes, some with their own stairs and beach access. So this is a really cool spot, and definitely a reason that people move to Encinitas.
So neighborhood number 1, this is that polished suburban neighborhood. This is actually a very highly desirable neighborhood right here in Encinitas. This is called Encinitas Ranch. You're looking about 500 homes in here, all with bigger footprints, multiple thousands of square feet. There's some smaller models, but that's kind of what I think of Encinitas Ranch up here. It's within an HOA community. You're looking at 3 to 6 bedrooms up here, all built in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's kind of its own little spot back here. So if you're looking like those bigger homes and you like that suburban feel, you like that track neighborhood, this is going to be your spot. Certain areas on different sides, because certain areas around Encinitas Ranch, well, first off, there's about 6 different neighborhoods. So we're in like the main spot, but if you go across Leucadia, there's a few more Encinitas Ranch neighborhoods over there. But this is really what people are thinking about when they're living here. Now, Encinitas Ranch is all detached homes. The next neighborhood we're gonna show you is that townhome. So the price points, which we're gonna get into all the price points of all of these neighborhoods at the end. So definitely stay tuned for that. But the next neighborhood we're gonna show you is a little bit more affordable than this one right here. Now, like I mentioned, Encinitas Ranch is an HOA, you know, mostly like landscaping is what a lot of your HOA goes to, because there's no real pocket parks. Cassie almost fell right there. Hopefully he's okay. There's no like pocket parks. You're not going to find, like, when you think of amenities in certain other HOA communities, pools, you know, tennis courts, pickleball courts, you're not going to find that here. That's in different communities throughout Encinitas. So if you guys want to know those, definitely hit us up. But as far as up here, like, there are, I forget how many, I read a while ago, but probably thousands of trees in here. HOA is taking care of all those. These roads right here are actually private roads, so they're taking care of that as well. Now, it's not like a huge HOA expense as well, but it is something, you know, actually all 3 neighborhoods do have HOAs that we're gonna talk to about today. So it's one of the more polished neighborhoods in Encinitas, one of the bigger master plan communities in Encinitas. We are only, like when Cassie's saying Beacons, that was the beach we were at. We'll bring it up on a map, show you exactly how far it is, but it's probably 8 to 10 minutes. And then you're parking, and then you're walking down the beach, well, find parking. So it's gonna take a little longer, so plan ahead. But a lot of people relocating here. This is on a lot of their lists as far as, especially if you're moving from like Bay Area, this is kind of similar price points, similar kind of, you know, well, different vibes, obviously a beach town, but, you know, definitely when you get into those price points, you're going to find a lot of those right here.
So as for the lifestyle here in Encinitas Ranch, it is pretty much just its own little jam here, because this is private roads like Chris mentioned. So people that are coming in and out of here are living here. So you're seeing a ton of people walking around. You're seeing a lot of people slow for kids. A lot of those little yellow mini kids at play signs out here. But also one of the cool things about living in Encinitas Ranch is these trail systems that we're about to walk onto right here. And these are maintained by the city of Encinitas. They go throughout this community, but then also tie you into some other areas around here as well. If you're going on kind of on the north side of Encinitas Ranch, the actual golf course, which we'll show you a little bit later, there's some trails that kind of take you into that Quail Ridge area as well. So really cool amenity, and you do see a lot of people out here on these trails all the time, walking up to a nice little local small library. Also, but it does, Encinitas Ranch has a really cool sense of community. You also see a ton of dogs walking around in this neighborhood, and there's also a park just on the south side of Encinitas Ranch. So if you've got kiddos, it's a great spot. San Diego Botanic Gardens also just around the corner here too, especially if you have small kids. They have some really cool little areas there. And it's also just one of the most convenient neighborhoods here in Encinitas because you've got the freeway only like 3 minutes away, and then which we're gonna go check out next is you have all of the amenities that Encinitas has to offer just over the hill here. So really, really convenient here in Encinitas Ranch. So we mentioned convenience. We were just right over that hill right there in Encinitas Ranch. Now we are in the Encinitas Ranch Town Center, which has pretty much anything and everything you need. We'll mention Target probably the most, just because a lot of people spend a lot of their lives shopping at Target. That is kind of the staple in here, but you got Total Wine right here behind us. You got PetSmart, you got Barnes & Noble. Crazy, I know, there's still Barnes & Nobles. You've got Dick's Sporting Goods, so if you have kids, I spend a ton of time there getting baseball bats, soccer balls, all of this stuff. And it's actually maybe my favorite place to just roam if I've got a few, like 5 minutes to spare. So anyway, you've got a couple of little quick food spots. You've got Jersey Mike's, you've got Panda Express, you've got a couple other spots like that in here. But this isn't the only shopping center. You've got one just to the north of us here. It's actually in Carlsbad. You got the Forum shops, but you've got a whole ton down El Camino Real. So you've got just little boutiques. You've got some really good restaurants. My favorite taco shop at the very end, Pablo's Tacos, definitely worth checking out. But then also one of the things you don't really think about that you need kind of, not on a daily basis, but every now and then is there's a lot of medical facilities right here on El Camino Real. My kid's doctor is there, my doctor, their dentist, right here in the, we call it the brick building. And then Scripps Encinitas is only maybe 15 minutes from here too. So convenience in Encinitas, you're always about 15 minutes to most of those amenities that you need on a daily basis.
Now we're in the shopping center right across from where we just were, and there's a few other cool things coming. So right back here used to be the Old Islands. Encinitas Brewing Company. Encinitas only has one other brewery. Actually, this side, there's like tasting rooms and that kind of thing, but actual breweries in Encinitas, this is going to be one. They're going through approvals right now. Just got approved through the city. Got it. It's going to be a long process, but by the time you guys move here, it might be ready to go. I think it's a restaurant acting like a brewery is what they're kind of going, because it's going to have good food and all that kind of stuff. So huge amenity, great place. I think this place is going to be awesome here. There are rumors that this next door, it used to be REI, is going to be a Trader Joe's as well. So maybe two other great amenities come in right here. And Cassie didn't mention, but there's a few car washes over here. So really cool people that I got my car washed the other day, and the guy was like, been here for 26 years or whatever. And then adding on to the convenience, right across the road is something that Cassie missed, is Home Depot. Now I was just there all the time. I'm kind of towards the end of my house remodel. So actually, if you guys are moving out and looking at houses and you're like, this one might need a little work, we have some great flooring guys, countertop guys, tile guys that we could hook you up with. So don't let that stuff scare you away. But Home Depot is right here as well. So if you're in the middle of a remodel and you need to take 1,000 trips, this is a good spot. And everywhere we're showing you today is within really close distance to all these areas. So Encinitas Ranch plus the other two neighborhoods are going to be pretty quick shots down to where we are right now. And then right across the road, well, right up the hill here, right up Leucadia Boulevard, is another huge amenity that you got to see. So let's go check that out. Now we're at the Encinitas Ranch golf course. It kind of surrounds the, it's in the center of the Encinitas Ranch community that we were just at, and half of it, the other half, it kind of goes around. Beautiful views up here. Gorgeous course. I mean, today, right now, if you move to San Diego, you're like, this is what San Diego is all about all the time. 77 degrees, sunny, beautiful. You guys saw the beach earlier. We'll show you another beach later on. It's unbelievable right now. But not only okay, yeah, it's a golf course, but even if you don't golf, it adds some value to the neighborhood as well. Creates a little bit more open space. The main community over there, some of the houses overlooking, golf course views. There's ocean views from the golf course. and Cassie and I have played this a bunch of times, and it's very forgiving. So super fun golf course. And they also have practice facility over here, you know, a driving range. There's the grill in here, right where we're standing too. During the weekends, sometimes they got live music. They got little events going on here as well. If you're a golfer, it's huge to have right here, right? Hard to get a tee time. But if you're an Encinitas resident, you actually get to book a few days earlier. So a little bonus of living right here in Encinitas. I think it's like 10 days instead of 7 days or something like that. But either way, you get a little bit of a benefit living right in this area. And if you want a different vibe right here in Encinitas, the next area, which is literally right across the entrance from Encinitas Ranch Golf Course, has a completely different feel. So let's go check it out.
So now we're in one of the most unique spots in San Diego, in my opinion, and that is Fox Point Farms, which is characterized as an agri-hood. Instead of just a traditional neighborhood, it was built around a 5-acre farm to the north side. These were built on 21 acres, and there's about 250 cottages, carriage houses, and townhomes. There's just a little bit of different style, but for the most part, you're gonna have a little bit smaller footprint and a little bit smaller home than what we've seen already and what we're gonna show you a little later, but that comes with being a little bit more affordable. And since this is a newer community, their homes are just a little bit tighter. There's not a lot of space between houses. There's not a lot of driveways and things like that. But you do have that kind of California farmhouse or craftsman style, which is awesome. There are some drawbacks. Parking here is not easy, and we're going to show you kind of a big reason why this community is awesome, but a big reason that parking is scarce. And so one of the big reasons that this is such a happening new place is there is a ton here at Fox Point Farms. We just walked through the market. There's a restaurant upstairs. There's a little spot for like a little coffee shop / cafe. It's also working farms. So behind us, you just saw that there's a whole bunch of growing grounds. There's also some creatures. Smell is not perfect at the moment. So if you are living on this side, just something to think about, but a really, really cool spot. Brewery behind us, so I might go grab a pint right after this. There's a horse over in the corner that just walked past us too. So a lot of cool spot, a big communal grass area, kind of a cool, not a playground, but kind of like a cool spot for kids to hang, and also some event spaces too. So Fox Point Farms is always busy, really, really busy. And there's a big reason why, and that's because it's pretty cool here. So even if you live here and you've got all these amenities in your backyard, we're gonna show you one of the coolest kind of downtown stretches in all of North County.
Now we're on one of my favorite strips in all of downtowns, all the coastal downtowns, from Solana Beach all the way up to Oceanside. We're in Leucadia, which is part of, you know, Encinitas obviously, but this whole strip is its own kind of thing. Like, this is where you're coming for date nights. This is where you're coming for little shops. Like, there's a shop right up here called Threadspun. I got my wife a nice little necklace over there for, I believe it was a birthday or something. You're gonna find a lot of these little boutique shops in here. Ton of coffee shops. There was one 4 till 4. They're making a move. I didn't see where they're going, but a classic local favorite here is Coffee. But the road right behind me right here, this is Coast Highway. So if you've seen SNL and you see the Californians and they say, when they're giving directions, you know, the 405, this is the 101. So it is the Coast Highway right here. And awesome spot, like I said. And there's always like new little spots popping up here. Now they're doing some renovation, so it gets a little funky in here. But I mean, there's breweries down here. There's a winery over there. A lot of these, like you can see this building behind me, a lot of these have been built up over the last handful of years. And you know, it's like living on the top spaces, and they have like, right here's a little cafe at the bottom. There's another one a little further up, a coffee shop. Just so you see some of these newer, you know, like this whole area. Until recently, it's been felt a little older, a little bit, let's say OG, yeah. Now it's starting to see a little revival, which, you know, a lot of maybe locals don't like. They like that old funky flavor, but there's also still some of those, you know, like old school, like kind of divish bars. You got the Relocating, you got a few others wrapping up around here. But anyways, this is like I said, one of my favorite strips in all of North County, San Diego, for date nights, for restaurants, for shops. Now I don't shop that much, but there are some cool little spots in here. So if you like this vibe, and you like to explore and get into new spots, this is where you're going to be coming a lot, and this is going to be part of your everyday lifestyle, or at least every week lifestyle right here in San Diego. But we have one more neighborhood we're going to show you, so let's go check that one out. All right, and a few places I forgot to mention. You got the Corner Frame Shop. One of our good friends owns that spot. Great little spot. The Papagayo right here, live music. My favorite beer spot right here in Encinitas, Regal Seagull, but you also have Duckfoot Brewing. As we're coming up here, we're stopping, but there's a little breakfast spot up here. Here's the winery I was talking about, Kaiola Sushi right next door. And then another place that Cassie mentioned before we were filming, Johnny Rad's Pizza. It's right across the street. So anyways, bunch of stuff, cool little walking area. You're gonna see it getting packed. Once again, it's Friday, it's somewhat early, and even parking was hard to find, but this is a go-to right here. Now, if those first two well-established neighborhoods weren't for you, this brand new construction community, less than probably a mile from the beach, which we're gonna show you that beach. We keep teasing that beach. We're gonna show you that in a sec, but this could be your spot. This is the Cove. It's about 42 homes in here, very modern, ranging all the way up to about 4,000 square foot in here. So some bigger footprint as far as homes go. If you're looking new construction in Encinitas, there's really not a ton of it. Like, you're gonna find these infill lots. So Encinitas used to be growing ground. So you found greenhouses everywhere. There's still a few kind of around town, Franco's Flowers, a few other ones, but it used to be like poinsettia capital of the world. So as time has gone on, a lot of those have been built on, a lot of those have been built out. But you're gonna find some of these smaller infill communities. There's another one, I believe it's called Ocean Knoll, over kind of in central Encinitas. Once again, bigger homes here. There's one in the works, it's more of that townhome style. They're kind of in the initial phases of it over off Santa Fe by San Diego Academy, so over on the other side of town. But new construction is hard to come by. These, maybe they're available. If not, hit us up. We'll try to find you some other brand new construction right here in Encinitas. But you got these modern homes, you got this modern construction. You know, that's the beauty of having something new, a lot less deferred maintenance over time. Once again, as you get into these newer communities, because there's less land, you're not gonna find, yeah, the houses are big, but the yards, just looking around, not too big. You do have a little space. It's not like right on top of each other, but I don't know, it's also not that big. So it's more of location based. We're right against the 5 freeway right back here. And so if you're on homes on that side too, you're gonna get some noise. If your home's on the western portion over here, you're likely gonna be fine. Okay. And once again on La Costa as well. Yeah, we're standing here right now. I could hear La Costa a lot more than the freeway, but we're kind of right at the entrance here. But now let's head to the beach. Let's show you, like I said, one of a lot easier than the beach beacons that we went to, but a lot easier access, especially if you got kids, you got family. Let's go check it out. So here's the beach that we were teasing. We are at Ponto, and one of the reasons I love it so much is you got space. So as you go up the beach, like right here is the little entranceway. There's actually a lot of people right here, but if you go a little bit further to the north, it kind of opens up a little bit. So I bring my boys here a lot, throwing rocks into the ocean and whatnot. There's also tons of bathrooms right here. So if you need to go to the bathroom, you got kids, not all beaches like Beacons where we were earlier. There's none of these amenities. There's a huge parking lot now. It's like 10 or 15 bucks a day. But if you are living here, I'm gonna recommend getting it's called like California Adventures Pass or something like that. And basically you get parking, because not all, like public beaches here in San Diego are all free in California and as a whole. But some do have parking, especially as you get like Del Mar, they have paid parking, right? Del Mar, it's like a metered parking. Up here is, you know, daily parking, as well as like Seaside over in Cardiff, a few other beaches. So that's kind of like where you are gonna pay. But other than that, it's a huge parking lot. You're gonna find most days, a ton of parking. And it's also, I mean, I'm looking right where Cassie is filming right here. We still have the edge of the bluffs coming out of Encinitas. Now we're like right on the border going into Carlsbad here. But like I said, as you go up this way, like a lot of the Encinitas beaches all the way from Moonlight, which is one of the most popular beaches, that's like the big open spot, this touristy area. You're probably gonna go there too. It's a nice, big, open, wide open beach, playground there, all that kind of stuff. But from there all the way to basically where we are right now, a big few mile stretch, it's all bluff. So even high tide, as we were filming at the other one, at Beacons, there was basically no beach. So very limited access. If you tried to walk from here to there right now, you're probably gonna be up against the cliffs. Not great to hang out underneath them. I'm looking at a sign right now that says danger, active bluff failures, which we have seen in the past. So not the best for, you know, if you got your wagon, if you got your surfboards, you got your boogie boards, you got all your toys, this is a much easier way to go. So Ponto, I think, yeah, a little bit harder to get in because there's no direct access in here. You got to go north and turn and all that. But I still think it's one of the best beaches right here in North County.
Quick neighborhood recap. Encinitas Ranch, if you're looking for that suburban feel, if you want to live close to a really nice golf course, if you want some views, a little bit more space, square footage, lot sizes are a little bit bigger, definitely a good option. Next point is Fox Point Farms, a little bit more affordable, definitely tighter space. If you want amenities you can walk to on the daily basis and grab a beer or grab a glass of wine, that is definitely your spot. And then last up, the Cove. If you want brand new construction, that is your option, and it is super close to this beach, which is Ponto right behind us. And we're gonna get into price points, but before we do that, if you are thinking about moving to San Diego, or if you live locally here now, you gotta get in touch with us, start that conversation. This is what we do every day. We help families and people move in and around San Diego all the time. And so definitely get that conversation started. Call, text, email. We've got your back when moving here to San Diego. And as for price points, Encinitas Ranch, you're sitting about 2.5 million is kind of that get you into Encinitas Ranch, kind of the smaller floor plans, up into the 3 millions. For Fox Point Farms, the starting price point for those smaller units is gonna be around $1 million, up into the 1.7s, 1.8s for the larger properties. And then for the Cove, we're just looking at it, starting price point is right around that 2.7, 2.8 mark for the smallest floor plans, up into the $4 million mark. So definitely a wide range of different options and pricing here in those Encinitas neighborhoods. So if you're thinking about moving to San Diego, maybe it was one of these Encinitas neighborhoods, maybe it wasn't. We've got a bunch of videos that you can take a look at, and one is popping up. Definitely check it out and get in touch with us.